Using your mobile phone and accessing the internet are part of daily life for most people. But not for 45% of residents in the Chalke Valley, who are constantly faced with no service notifications and poor internet speeds. To try and solve this, a community-owned mobile company called Chalke Mobile has been piloted in the valley to offer full-strength mobile signal and ultra-fast broadband.
We're going to flood the entire 13.8 kilometres of the Chalke Valley with very high speed, very high grade 4G mobile. We're doing this because the Chalke Valley is an extremely difficult place to get communications into. It's a deep valley surrounded by high rolling chalk downs, and they're an area of outstanding natural beauty as well, so not a very easy place to put masts up. Consequently, there is no mobile coverage in the Chalke Valley, and in fact it's the largest mobile hotspot in the south of England.
This call is being provided free of charge by waymobile.com.
The government have pledged around £1 billion to improving this digital divide nationwide. Chalke Mobile is the first scheme to be given some of this funding to pilot the project, and if successful, it could revolutionise rural mobile coverage.
We're using something called multi-operator neutral host. What that means is that any mobile from any network operator, when they come into the valley, as soon as they drop off their own network, they'll see our network and try and attach to it, and as long as we can authenticate them, they will get service.
The team will put fibre into 1 in every 10 houses in the valley to deliver ultra-fast broadband, and then a 4G cell on the chimneys will distribute to the surrounding houses. Chalke Mobile will be ran as a community interest company, meaning the residents of the valley will be highly involved.
The community will own their own mobile network. And the locals will become shareholders. Now, there are two ways you can become a shareholder. One is you can throw a big lump of cash at us. We'd be very pleased to take that. Or alternatively, and probably more likely, you can just come and work for the project. And the sort of thing that our volunteers will be doing will be ploughing fibre in around fields, for example. I've got people like Angus Mann's sons here, who will be ploughing fibre around the edges of their own fields.
For Sue, who runs a local B&B, the lack of coverage has even had an impact on her business.
The amount of people that have booked, then come over to our place, tried to use the mobile and found there's no reception. Oh, sorry, I can't stay here because you've got no reception. It's not the younger generation, it's the older generation, because they're the ones who's got the old phones. There's no reception. It's like, I've lost so much money through it.
The national threshold for broadband is 10 megabits per second, but for the 45% of residents in the valley, most are on less than 2 megabits.
If you go into the pub or here in the village hall and listen to the conversation, it's the one topic that pops up more often than anything else. We have a divided community between the haves and the have-nots, and people really, really want it. It's not a nice to have now, it's an essential. It's just like having water and electricity. You've got to have your internet. You can't survive without it.
This cell on Bowerchalk Village Hall is a pre-production model, but is successfully providing mobile signal throughout the village. If this pilot scheme proves a success, then rural locations across the country could soon have their broadband woes disappear. Rhea Barton, That's TV.